me today. Welcome to the Fast and Fabulous podcast. How are you today, Lizzie?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. I
Well,
appreciate
thank you for being on.
inviting me.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking the time out and being with us to tell your story. I always like to start with my most important question is, how and when did you first discover clean intermittent fasting? I've known you for probably a couple of years now, so I know, but I want you to tell everybody else, when did you first discover it? How did you discover it? What's your story? How did you get there?
Well, my friend, she's a mother of six, and
Oh.
she posted February 2nd, 2021. So like still, I feel like that was still pandemic time. I feel like,
Mhm.
so she posted this and she's always been a good, like I would never say obese, she'd always
Yeah.
been just like a woman of who's had six kids.
Yeah.
And she posted this picture of herself with a six pack and I'm not gimmicky. So one of the things in my backstory is going to be just like, I've never taken diet pills. I've never done any, I've always thought the way you lose weight is
Mhm.
run and count calories. So that's what I'm not going to fall for your pills. I'm not going to,
Yeah.
that's not,
Yeah.
I try to be holistic and clean as
Mhm.
much as I can. So I was just like, man, I hope she doesn't say so. And I really hope she's not saying keto because I refuse to do keto.
No, I don't do keto at all. So I mean, I respect those who do and whatever works, but
Yeah,
no.
oh, if it works for you for sure, but it's not my heart. I can't. So anyway, she posted this picture and she was just like, if you're interested, come join my fasting group. And I was like, okay, intermittent fasting. I had done it. I had dirty fasted in 2018, lost some weight. I knew it would work for me. Like I was like, okay, so let's see what her fasting protocol is, all of those sorts of things. So that's what February 1st. So February 2nd of 2021 was my very first clean fast. And it was 17 hours. And I was like, I can't believe you're gonna make me go without coffee creamer. And she referenced Jen Stevens,
Mhm.
which I know probably has brought a lot of us there.
Yes.
So um so she referenced Jen Stevens, and so she just had her rules, like on your Facebook page, like she just had the rules.
Mhm.
And so I read the rules, and I was like, I can't believe you're gonna make me go without creamer. And I remember posting that, like, how dare you?
Yeah.
I hate
No.
you. Like it was all personal attack, not
Yeah.
really, but
Yeah.
it's just like there's no way. But had my first cup of black coffee that day,
Mhm.
and I didn't die, and I didn't eat. I stopped dinner, I think probably like 5 or 6 the night before. We eat early anyway. We have
Mhm.
small children,
So do
and
I.
I've
Yeah.
never been a late night snacker, so that was never the problem. But skipping breakfast is a huge problem for me because I am a breakfast eater. My schedule, I'm a teacher, and so my schedule was always like bang, 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 class, 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 class. And then I didn't have a break until 12:30. My planning time was until the afternoon. So I was like, I have to eat at 6:30 because classes started at 7:20. I taught middle school, so it's just a little early.
Sure.
And so I have to eat that early because there's no way I'll make it to 12:30 without dying.
You're like, I'm gonna die. Yeah. No, I felt the same
Exactly. And
exact way, honestly.
so coffee creamer and breakfast, I thought I was going to die with both of those,
Yeah.
without those. And so I met a friend for lunch that day because at that point I had switched, not careers, I'm still a teacher, but I had switched to where I was doing virtual in the morning, and then I was meeting a friend for lunch, and it was like 11:30, 12, and I just remember thinking, gosh, like I made it. And like my fast was gonna break at 11, but we weren't meeting for lunch until 12. So I kind of got there and I was like, hey, I already ordered because I'm starving. I didn't eat breakfast. Like I remember that. And she was like, okay, well, I'm really, and she had been,
Yeah.
she's always so I was sorry, very long story. I'm
It's
chatting.
okay. It's okay.
That's
So
how
am
I
I.
got to it.
Yeah.
A friend posted on Facebook. So guys and everyone, I will say, like, and I haven't been too open, and I really need to because I have in our groups, but I haven't said a whole lot. And we'll talk about that a little later. But
Yeah.
like that's something that we forget, that like these
Yeah.
things, like those simple things matter, just saying those things. And of course, she's growing a group and those sorts of things. And it's great. And I'm fully support because she's great. I mean, she got me into it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's changed my life. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm so happy that you found it the way you did and that you're here with us today. So, you've lost a significant amount of weight. In fact, when I tried to calculate how much you've gone released from your body, it's been significant. So, let me ask you, where are you today? How much have you lost to date?
so I think I'm between 70. Okay, so probably the reason why you can't calculate it is because I haven't put numbers out there.
It's okay.
Because I'm going to touch on this a little bit too, is I used to have an eating disorder in high school and in college. I was bulimic. And so I had a really unhealthy relationship with the scale. And I found that intermittent fasting, if I weighed myself every day, it was a trigger. So I put away well, actually, I didn't put away my scale. My scale still never has to weighs himself every day. I don't though.
Mhm.
So I go on my clothing. I
Yeah.
go on and other things, but like I am between,
Feelings.
but I know like I got on the scale in the last week just because I was like, well, I probably need to know.
Mm.
I'm between so I'm right at about 75 pounds
That's
lost.
amazing.
So
That is
yeah. And
amazing.
a lot of it came off very early on. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Like
Yeah.
it came, and I've been kind of slow, and probably if I were to step on the scale a little more, or maybe up a few more things, I know I need to, but right now where I'm at, I just know that I gained, it took me like, to get to where I was, it took, I don't know, like 10 years. So I'm not expecting it to all be gone in a year and a half, even though some people like Graham
Absolutely.
Curry, who you and I both uh, look up to, he's
Yeah.
fantastic. His
Absolutely.
life was gone. And I'm just like, well, that's probably not my story. I'm a woman. I have hypothyroidism. I've got things,
We
and
are
so,
all so different. It is such a project of one, but
mhm,
losing that amount of weight is huge. And to be still on this journey, no matter what, and the fact that you're still sitting here and
yeah,
you're putting in that effort every single day, and you're absolutely right. It took you 10 years to get to where you are. You're not
mhm,
going to get it off in a day, a year, even 2 years. I mean, it's everybody is different and everybody gets there at a different time, but such a huge congratulations for getting to
thank
where you
you.
are today. And I just applaud you, because being a mom full time to little ones, working a full time job, and losing that amount of weight, that is a huge, huge task to take on. So I applaud you for that. And so that brings me to my next question. How does your fasting schedule fit into your life with your teaching career, your little ones? How do you handle days where you have higher cortisol? I mean, we all have these days, right?
Yeah.
How
Man,
do you handle them?
some days, well, like I just made homemade pancakes for my kids. I have two
Mhm,
little girls who love breakfast, who love all things
mhm,
food. We had a yesterday I had four girl each my girlfriend, my daughters had both of their best friends over, and we had
mhm.
just one of those days that it was like a high, well, because I don't know, well, you have children,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
eat nonstop.
Oh, I have boys.
My
Yeah.
life is in the kitchen.
Oh, me too.
And I find that on some days, like yesterday, I had to open my fast early. We had gone swimming early on.
Mhm.
I do the vibration plate workout. I do 30 minutes every morning,
Okay.
and I love it. And then I think it's 15 to 30. I upped my game to 30 because like we had talked about, kind of been in a plateau. So I thought, well, I'll
Mhm.
just, and I didn't realize how easy that transition would be. I was like, oh, another 15 minutes is gonna be awful. But really it feels like the same amount of time. So if anyone's on the border of like upping your workout a little bit, really kind of just, as long as if you're carving out time, doesn't matter if it's 15, 30, I don't know, probably like 2 hours does feel like a long time.
Honestly, I have been looking at them, so thank you for that. I need
I love, I'm gonna go up.
real life experiences.
I have, and well, we can talk about that a little bit, but so there are days where I push through and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to, but like if I'm popping popcorn, which is one of my favorite things in the world, like I'm gonna open it and then I close it early. There are many days where I close, yeah, well, we went to the zoo on Tuesday, we ate lunch and I closed my eating window at 1. and then I made dinner for my family. And honestly, if I'm going to skip dinner,
Mm,
dinner's not my favorite, so
yeah,
it's not been my hard thing to skip.
right.
It is a hard thing with family, though. I will
Sometimes,
say,
yeah,
my family, they're like, Mom, but I always make it a point to sit down with them. But the
yeah.
truth is, as I'm like, I'm just getting up and getting everyone refills on drinks anyway.
Well,
So it's
you
like,
don't get to sit down anyhow. What's the point? Honestly, that's what I feel too. I feed them first, and then if I'm gonna eat dinner that day, then I will eat after them sometimes. But if we're going to eat as a
yes,
family, then it's kind of stressful sitting down. You don't really get to as a mom, right?
you don't. You don't. Like, that's such a true statement. And so I was just like, okay, like this is what
Yeah. Some
we're
days you
gonna
just gotta
do.
move
This
it.
is, yeah, exactly. Sometimes I open it early and I close it early, or
Yeah.
I haven't, I've done some longer fast, 40, those sort
Mm,
of things. And
yeah.
I just try to make sure that like I cook lame meals those days. Those are chicken nugget
Mm,
days. Those are frozen chicken strips. You know what I mean? Like those are things that like don't tempt me. I'm not making taco night on the nights that I'm,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's what I love. So I'm not making those nights, but I make like, the spaghetti or things that I'm just like, "Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
good."
So you have to move I mean, like honestly, it's just you have to like move it. I did
My
something
window is,
today
yeah.
I never do. 15 hours I opened because I'm like I started to get a headache. I've had a headache since I woke up, and I
Oh,
made some bad food choices yesterday. And so I'm just like, today I'm struggling. So I'm like, I'm gonna listen and we're gonna open up early. And so some days you just gotta open up
I
early.
do.
And
And I think that's so important. And like, I think one thing that like, they're like, no, I just don't eat during the day. And I'm just like, I do. Like I don't think I eat when the sun's down. I eat during the day. If I'm hungry at 10, like, well, we have a place in Oklahoma. It's called Brahms. And if there's any Oklahoma, you'll know who I'm talking, because this is like our local, like
yeah,
Culver's, or like there's
Culver's, we
always
have
some.
Culver's. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. My sister lives in Wisconsin. They have that. And so
Okay.
like it's like the local kind of, and like they have the
Yeah.
best breakfast. And sometimes I just want their breakfast. They make biscuits and gravy, and you can get, and it's amazing. And so I'm like, "Hey, I can only get it before 10:30 a.m. I'm
Yeah.
not going to deprive myself my whole life of Brahms biscuits and gravy
No.
because I don't eat during the day.
And
So mine is always flexible. I use the Zero app. I love the Zero
me
app. I've
too.
used it. I think I have, let me look. I was close to 500, so I don't know if I've gotten to 500 yet. Nope, 481. So I have 481 clean fast in there. Yesterday was
Awesome.
22 hours because I closed early on Tuesday after we went to the zoo. I'm sitting at like 16 right now because we went out to dinner last night
Yeah.
for Mexican, because that's my
Yeah.
favorite.
Me too.
And then we have
Yeah.
my daughter's birthday party this evening. And so I'm going to try kind of, but I feel fine. If I was hungry, then I usually do try and wait. If I can hold off till noon, I try. But
Yeah.
if not, you've got to be flexible. You've got to like,
Keep
you
it
just
simple,
do.
right?
Mhm.
Keep it
Yes.
simple. Graham and I talked about this. Keep it simple. Honestly, consistent, simple,
Mhm.
clean,
Mhm.
and and
Yep.
and being okay and giving yourself that grace and that kindness to say it's okay. Today is fine. I'm gonna open up early. I'm gonna close up early.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best,
Mhm.
right?
Last
Because
week, most of my fasts were right at 17 hours. And I thought that was it. But, like I had a girls' night. We spent a night in
good for you.
like yeah, it was so fun. I get one a year, one night away from my whole family a year with my girlfriend.
You need
And
more
it
than
was last
that.
week. And
Yeah.
we drank appropriate amount. We weren't driving. So you know what I mean? Like we were at a pool, so it was
Yeah.
fine. We were, you know what I mean? We drank, we ate, we enjoyed ourselves. I
Good.
clean fasted, and amazingly enough, I wasn't hungry until 11. And they are all like, some of them don't have kids. So they're like, oh, we don't wake up till 10:30. And I'm like, I don't know
10:30.
if that's right. But the one who does have kids, she and I woke up. I got black tea and she got a latte. We went walking around the river because we were right on the Illinois River.
Interesting. You
And
guys had the
so,
most energy out of everybody, huh?
yeah, we were fat, we were feeling good. So we were
Good.
there, and and it was so nice. And so anyway, I guess,
Yeah.
you have to make it work for you, or else if you're so rigid, you're not going to stick to it.
You aren't, and it
Yeah.
won't be sustainable. We know this. We know this, right? So you mentioned a vibration plate, and I've always wanted to try one. I'm super interested. I've researched it. I just haven't like hit the green button on it.
On Amazon. You haven't pushed the button yet.
I haven't pushed the button.
I love it. I've had it
Yeah.
since March. So I got it 1 month into because I was looking at Jen Stevens, which
Yeah.
looking at her favorite things, and hers was the vibration plate, and hers was like the high-end vibration plate. I was like, no, I'm teacher salary. I don't have that kind of money. But I did like the lower one, I think was like 150, and it's called the Waver. And I used it every day, except for if we're on vacation, because I don't take it with me. That would be
Yeah.
silly. But I use it every day. I get up. I take my thyroid medicine because you have to. I don't know if anyone knows hypothyroidism.
My mom has a thyroid issue every morning.
Yeah, so I take my thyroid. I can't drink black coffee for at least 30 minutes. So I get on my vibration plate. I watch the Today Show, and that's what I do every morning. And I use free weights, and I use like leg bands to kind of like use more muscles. And so so you can see I've got some more definition in my arm.
You definitely do.
Those 8-pound weights are doing something.
Hell yeah.
But I was like, my armpit goes in. Okay, sorry. I have to show you my armpit goes in.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
I was like, yeah,
you're like, look at me. Heck yeah. So like vibration plate, free weights, you know, you're doing some at-home workouts. Do you do anything else? Do you like walk or do anything like that?
Yeah, we're members of the Y, so I do take my kids. We have an amazing swimming pool that's not just like a regular swimming pool.
Fun. Yeah.
I go walking, so I walk, and my kids play on all the things, or they'll swim next to me, and so we do that as a family. We love that. It's year round, at least twice a week. And then we, sometimes we live in the country, so we take walks. We, I can walk around our property and get a fourth of a mile.
Oh my gosh, you must have a huge little piece of property.
Yeah, we have a few acres. So, you know, like if I do the fence line, it's, so we, it's just, honestly, I'm very active. My friend texted me, the one who I went on a walk last week, because she got new Fitbits, and she was like, how are you getting all these steps in? I'm like, I don't know.
You get tons of steps in. I see your posts with your steps, and I've had like every disease known to mankind run through my house in the past month. So I've been just like taking care of everyone and trying to stay alive. But but I've been paying attention, and your steps are like, I'm like, how the heck is she doing that? Like how? Like I don't even know. But my hat's off to you.
I lost a bunch of, so I have another Life Pro, or it is Life Pro. And I was sent this. So like they asked me to review it because they saw that. And it's one of those half bouncy balls.
Yeah.
We have a bouncy ball too. My kid uses it at the piano. She does piano. And so I have a bouncy ball, like an exercise ball that you can sit on. But this was a half bouncy ball. And sometimes I'm like, I'm at 8,000 steps. I have not missed since March 4th this year. I have not missed 10,000 steps. So
that's remarkable.
I didn't realize that until like mid-May. And then I was like, oh, here, or you know what I mean? So like every day I just make sure. And not that I think that I haven't really lost a significant amount of weight from doing it. I used to, a part of my backstory too is I did lose like 50 pounds one school year between my kids. And but I was literally running half marathons on like Tuesdays. Like I had to run so much. I mean, I'm talking 30,000 steps Sundays, just on like like I never sat down. I could never physically sit down, because if I was to lose weight, I had to live off of cuisine meals, or you know what I mean? Like that's what I lived off of, Weight Watchers, like just prepackaged things, so I can put in the numbers in my Fitness Pal. And so and
it was easier that way because it was just there for you.
I had a 3-year-old at home. I was working in the classroom full time, which is just so hard. And so I had these, there are 180 calories, these little breakfast keto. I remember exactly what I ate every day that year. And then I had those prepackaged salads that were 300, and then I had a snack. And then for dinner, we would I was eating between about 1,200 calories a day. I was starving all the time, and I was running so much. And that's what it took for me to lose 50 pounds. in 2000, that was 2017,
Okay.
2017, no, 2016, 2017, because I got pregnant. And then so, there's always like things
Yeah.
like,
Oh
and
yeah.
so I lost the weight, and then I lost a dear family member, and then we lost a baby. And so that weight just came right back on because I wasn't willing or could have the physical ability to keep it up. Like now, I
Yeah.
just lost another, like, I've lost two
Sorry.
major people in my life. One of them
So
was in
sorry.
2017, and one of them was earlier this month.
Oh my gosh.
And
So sorry about that.
so I've noticed, like, I mean, so my fasting, that's, it's
You
been
have
a
to be
little
gentle
lower,
with yourself.
but
You
I
have
am,
to.
like, that's what,
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a long fast, and it was like 2 days after, and I'd probably, like, this, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this 42-hour, and then I was just like, I'm having a hard day today.
And that's okay.
Food, part of food is comfort. Like,
Sometimes it is.
like, we use it as, it's not just fuel, it's not just this, like, there, a part of it is like, I'm having a hard day, and like, I'm with my kids, I'm doing this, and it was like pouring outside, so we couldn't go out and do things to distract myself. Like, it was just one of those, like, moments where I couldn't, and I was just like, I'm gonna make what I want, and I'm gonna sit down and enjoy my food today, and that's going to be a part of loving myself and giving myself grace. And so I
And
love
good for
that with
you for
intermittent
doing that.
fasting we can, and
Yes.
I'm not worried about putting back on weight. Am I don't know, maybe my shorts, my 14. So I went from a 28 to a 14. I'm in a 14 now.
That is huge.
Um,
That's a significant
it's huge. And so my
wow.
14s, they feel a little tight right this minute. And so, like, this week, maybe I've tightened it up a little more. I've done, but I'm going on vacation I'm going on Sunday. I'm driving to go visit my sister in Wisconsin. And so if they stay a little tight until we get back, they stay a little tight. But I'm still fast. I'll still do the clean fast. I will still,
Yeah.
So you
Listen,
know what I mean? Like, there's a
you
lot of
understand
life
life
that happens.
happens. Life happens. Right. Exactly. You just said life happens.
Mhm.
And you have to roll with it and you have to be flexible. And Lizzie, you're doing just that. And we all have to do that. This is life and this is for life. You're gonna stick with it for life, I can tell. And
Yeah.
of course I will. But and that's, we're trying to get the word out that you don't have to kill yourself to lose weight and be healthy. You can do it without killing yourself. It doesn't have to look that way. It doesn't have to be hard. It is hard in the beginning. Yes. Would you
Yeah.
agree?
I
It's
just
hard at the
responded
beginning.
to the one that, like, I just responded. Someone was just like, I'm 3 days in, and I love breakfast, and this is so hard. Someone tell me it gets easier. And I was just like, girl, for 36 years, because I was 36 when I started fasting, I said, for 36 years,
Mhm.
I ate breakfast every day between, like,
Mhm.
I mean, some days were a little bit later because, I'd sleep in and be 8. But I was
Mhm.
like, I never I would go without dinner. Like, I
Mhm.
remember, and that's why I think that I intermittent fasted naturally when I was thinner, like when I was
Mhm.
younger.
Yes.
Like, before I met my husband, I rarely ate dinner.
Me
If I
neither.
ate dinner, because I was a poor college
And what did you have? Cheese and crackers and a salad?
oh,
That's
but
what
if
I would
I
have.
did, it was like,
Popcorn.
oh, like, I remember on Friday, like, what I ate, like, I just look back now and I'm just like, I would skip dinner very easily. And actually, talking to my mom, she was like, there was a time in my life I lost a lot of weight, and I just didn't eat after 3 p.m.
Imagine
Mom,
that.
like, that's what it is.
Imagine what it
Like, that's
is, right?
literally what I'm doing
Exactly.
now. Like, and that's not unhealthy. I'm not depriving if I want to eat after work. But sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'm like 3 hours into a fast. Am I hungry? Sure, I'm gonna break it. Or, you know what? Like, it's not worth it. It's just me, whatever. And so you have to, trusting your body is the biggest thing that I think came out of intermittent fasting for me. And I think you
Yes.
would probably say that too.
Yeah.
Like, I learned that, like, there are times where, like, I'm gonna eat because I feel like it. Like, last night, like, I
Yeah.
had already started my clock. Like, I ate a really yummy lunch, and I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of full, so I'll start
Yeah.
my clock.
Sure.
And then my husband's like, let's go to our favorite restaurant because I'm leaving this week with our girls, and
Yeah.
we have my daughter's birthday. Yeah, like, it was just like, okay, this is gonna kind of be our
Yeah.
our
Family
last time to
time.
go out. And so I
Yeah.
was just like, sure, and so I opened it. I had a margarita in it.
Nothing wrong with that.
I
Nothing wrong with
I
that.
ate some delicious brisket tacos.
Yummy.
And then
Oh
I
my,
closed my
ooh,
window at like 5:50. I know, and they
that
have fried
sounds
onions on top.
good.
They're so good.
Now I want to go eat some brisket tacos and
I know.
margaritas.
Sorry.
No, it's a
You haven't
no.
realized, like,
It's okay.
absolute but like that's what you do. Like you just like you live this lifestyle. I'm sorry. I don't know if like I'm saying the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again, but
No.
that's just what I do. Like and sometimes like so on Friday or the other day he was like, well, do you want to eat? And I was like, I don't know, depends on what we eat. If we eat something good, I might eat it. And he was like, well, just how about that pizza that we had? And I'm just like, I'm good. And I passed that night,
It has to be like at this point, like worthy of my window, right? Wouldn't you
Yeah,
agree?
that
Like I
window
usually
worthy that
like
we talked
if
about.
it's like, if it's your biscuits and gravy that you enjoy and that give you that comforting feeling, like maybe it's that. Or maybe it's just like something really healthy that you would never, I mean, for me, like my appetite correction's been crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I used to hate avocados. Now like I'm
Oh, I love
obsessed, right? Like totally.
And
But
I used to do like a modified last summer. I did a modified ADF for a while.
mhm.
And I would always do the 500-calorie meal. I know a lot of people are like, no, but I'm like, I live for that 500-calorie meal.
A lot of people it works.
I could put so much delicious fresh food for five. It was always a whole avocado. It was always a whole egg.
You
It
can do a
was
lot with that.
always watermelon. It was
Yeah.
always, you know what I mean? Like it was
Mhm.
always like I would use carrots, like the South. I loved it. I would make guacamole with onion, which had like garlic salt,
Yeah.
jalapenos, and avocado. And then I cut up carrots like crazy small, and I would use those. Or sometimes I'd have tortilla chips, like
Whatever. Yeah.
But like I love like that was my ADF like meal.
Mhm.
I always had it on like the days that I went grocery shopping, so I had like the freshest and the best.
Before the avocado goes bad. Hurry up.
Strawberries last like 5 seconds in my house, so like I always like had those.
My kids love strawberry. Well, one of my kids does, and yes, they totally disappear.
We've gone through like 4 pounds of strawberries since Friday. My kids
Oh my god.
through like girl, we've gone through an entire watermelon, we've gone through a whole jug of milk, we've gone through a loaf of bread. Like they are not like they must be some kind of growth spurt going on because
How old are your kids? Could I ask you?
7, well, almost 8, and then 3, almost 4. So I really think that we're going through, and summer always grow in summer.
Always. Yeah. I mean, mine are 5 and 7, and we're having similar problems here. So,
Yeah. So you understand it's the same kind of age range where it's just like
constant eating.
Stop eating.
They live in the kitchen, live in the pantry. You feel like just a servant of snacks.
Oh, yeah, like the other day, it was like dinner. We had dinner with the frozen pizza night, and then we had a double sleepover. So my daughter had her best friend spend the night, my oldest.
Yeah.
She spent 2 nights in a row. Her best friend did, and so like her best friend is also an eater. So they had and she ate dinner at her grandma's because they're an expert neighbor. So she ate dinner at her grandma's. She came over. She ate pizza. Then she ate leftover taco meat from the other night with chips and then they asked for ice cream. I made them do schoolwork because I'm a teacher. So I was like, oh sure. Well, you have to write in your journal and you have to do this math worksheet. And then
you have to send me some stuff for my kids.
And then I gave them some I can't. And then they wanted ice cream, so I gave them a little bit of ice cream for it. And then I was like, okay, I put their sister to bed, my daughter to bed, one sister. And I got it. They were eating pretzels.
Of course they were.
I was like,
oh yeah, sounds familiar.
I can't afford you.
Bottomless pits. Yeah. I'm like, y'all know about inflation? Like, seriously.
Exactly. Like, I need you guys to eat 40% less because that's what
right. Exactly. Can you start pulling your weight around here? Is it too young for you to get a job? Or too soon?
So we're they said they're going to start a lemonade stand. I may just start making profit off.
Well, my kid actually did mention one recently, and I'm not totally against the idea, but then I feel like I'll be doing most of the employment services.
You better be prepared that you're going to be making the lemonade. It's going to be all of your stuff. But we also, like I said, we live on 5 acres. Although we do have neighbors, kind of around, we like they would make no money because
There's no
so maybe
traffic
the
there.
one neighbor might come over and buy something, but like they're all retired old people who never leave their house. So like,
Aw.
which is great, like they're
But
always watching your
they'll
house.
come
So
out for your kids probably,
well, if they see it, but you're just so far away,
I know.
So
They
who
might
knows?
have to go from door to door and sell lemonade, right?
That's probably what we'll do.
Lizzie, this was so much fun. I feel like we
Yes.
already know each other in a way because like I've been
Yeah.
watching you from the beginning and I'm just so always impressed by your positive influence on the group and just really you are such an important part of our community. So thank you so
Oh,
much for everything that you're pouring into our group and into the fasting world because really community is a huge part of this and getting our stories out there and being vulnerable is such a huge part of it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
no. Oh, thank you. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed it. I know, it is hard. It is hard to kind of tell where you started, where you're at, not feeling ashamed, but also, like knowing that that's like just a part of your story and who you are. And, I'm not, some people like their starting weight is still smaller than my current weight, but
We're
I
all
know that
different.
my journey looks a little different. And I know that what I've been through has been a little different. And also my life, but like what my body is going through is a little different. And so I think you definitely have to find what is right for your body and also not judging your journeys. That's a big part. And if I could,
Yeah.
like if you can, like love your body where you're at, it's not like I'm not going to love my body anymore now than I did because I mean, it was a struggle. There were
Yeah.
things that were, Graham talks a lot about like his being extremely obese. Like there is some struggles that you do have.
Right.
And I was morbidly obese, like I was in that category. And
Yeah.
so but you have to really love your body where you're at and love yourself where you're at and not, I think, don't beat yourself up for getting to where you were. Don't beat yourself for where you're at now. If there's any part of this that I think that we could take away and that intermittent fasting has probably taught you and me is just that like our bodies are great machines and they work for us. And, one thing Jen said on a podcast a while back that I always loved was like, your body was holding on to that fat because it didn't want you to die. It was, preparing for the famine, and I was just like, yes, like, please love. So that's my big thing. I think
I
through
love
intermittent
that.
fasting that I really want people to know is that is the biggest thing that you can do is just love yourself. And even if you don't love your body yet, but if you could get to where you love your body and just know, and it's not about a size, it's not about being perfect, it's not about um, having all these checklists, all these things that you do right. It's about loving yourself for where you're at that moment. And so that's important.
100%. And thank you for sharing that because really giving ourselves grace and kindness and
Mhm.
knowing that we're going to have bad days and we'll have good days. And we're in this for the long haul. And that's how we're able to go on and have these success stories like yours and build such a huge community. And so I really just like I want to just keep planting these seeds and spreading the word. So thank you. Thank you for sharing your time and your journey with us because if it touches one person today, then we'll call this a success.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I appreciate all the time. I know what you put into the group, what you put into the podcast, like that is major time consuming. And so you're doing something huge with your life in the sense of just showing others that, like this is a way that you can be successful. And I think that that's really important. And thank you for doing that because, yours was I did find my friends group first because she put it on, but then yours was
Yeah.
the very second one I found. And yours was the one that I think I spent because I felt like I could be a little more vulnerable in your group, meaning, when
Yeah.
they're your friends, like I
Yeah.
wasn't going to put my second weight with like
Yeah.
my
No.
friend who like my kid goes to second grade or,
Yeah. It's a
first
little
grade.
weird. Yeah.
That is hard. Like, in fact,
It's a little hard. Yeah.
I when I was on Graham's podcast, I shared it. I was like, I was really
Mm.
kind of afraid to share that because
Yeah.
we have a hard time. You just don't. But I felt I could be with your group, and I
Well,
was really, and I
thank you
found
for
it,
saying that.
because the name, I did find, and so I felt like very early on I could feel very vulnerable, and I appreciate that because it
Aw.
was important in my journey. So thank
Well,
you.
good. Thank you for saying that, because really that's the space I really wanted to create, was a safe, comfortable, inclusive space where we could just be vulnerable and just be like, hey, look, like this is what it is. And we
Yeah.
could be honest and truthful and be our true authentic selves. And I just thank you so much, Lizzie. You're just such an important part of our group and an important part of our village. I appreciate everything about you. You have
Oh,
you've come so far, and I wish you all the luck in the world. And I know you're going to get to your goal, but like you said, you're not putting pressure on yourself, and I love that. You're
yeah.
taking your time, and that is the right way to do it. So
Right. Right.
so
Like
huge,
I'm
huge.
yeah, I would love to lose another 40 pounds very quickly. Like it's quick, I feel like lost
You
that
have the
first 40
tools.
very.
You have the tools, and you know what to
Yeah,
do, but life
exactly.
happens,
And
right?
yeah, I have the tool, and I know that I can, but I also know that right now I'm not willing to do the longer or do that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So when I want to, it'll be there.
Yeah,
When I want to, I feel like I'm in maintenance right now, even though it's a maintenance at a higher weight. But I can easily maintain this weight and this
but listen,
lifestyle for as long as I want, and
yeah.
so, and that's okay. So
I always have to think about, like, if I didn't have fasting during these really huge life events,
mhm.
what could happen? I could gain 30 pounds so easily. Like, but if I have my fasting, even if I stick to a more, relaxed schedule, like you said,
Mhm.
you know that you're not going to gain any more weight. And that in
Right.
itself is what is just such a huge gift, because
Mhm.
we don't have any, this is in our control. I love that. We're always in control with intermittent fasting. Um, yeah, it's such a gift. And I thank you for spreading the word, and I'm going to continue to do the same, because really it is my passion to do that. I enjoy this. I love to hear people's
Oh, I
stories.
can tell. We can see it. So we can all see it because it is like it takes hard work and dedication to run and do what you do. And so you can
Thank
only
you.
do it by passion. And we can tell that that's your
It is kind of a labor of love, but yes,
passion.
it is my passion, and I love it. And thank you so much, Lizzie Akers, for being on with me. I wish you a great rest of your week, and I hope you have a fabulous trip with your family.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, of course. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.